It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Philip Simon. Happy Monday to you.
Good morning. I'm Cyan Thompson, filling in for Anastasia. Why am I forgetting her last name?
Palacious.
Palacious. Yes. Who is
And Carlos
on
is
a
just here on
break?
Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. How are
It's
you?
been almost a week since you've been back.
Yes. It's
And
been
we've
almost a
just
week.
thrown you right into this fire, and you're doing well, man.
Thank
Doing
you.
well.
Thank
Yeah,
you. It's
yeah,
going good.
Yeah.
It's nice to be back to the warm friendliness of the people.
I know.
It's
What
good.
did you do this weekend?
Well, I went to do a lot of visiting a lot of people that I haven't seen. And people have this fascination with conch salad and the fruit in it, pineapples and
You've been away-
mango.
been away too
It's
long.
like sacrilegious. Like, how could you put that
Come on, man.
in?
It's a
in
tropical
conch-
salad. It's a tropical salad,
No,
man. Gotta love it.
no,
Gotta
just
love
some
it.
onions
And
goat pepper.
And that's you.
Yeah,
That's you.
that's it.
That's you.
That's it.
That's
That's
you.
it.
So, it was a hot weekend. It was a lot of rain as well, but it was also hot.
Yes, it
Power
was.
stayed on?
No. I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? No, it didn't stay on. I was thinking maybe for the weekend it'll be on, you could pipe your AC.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome
Thank
back.
you.
Listen, I believe this week is the week where the Lion King is going to be.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, it is.
Kids
It's
are all
coming out.
excited about
Yes,
that.
it should be
Actually, not just
amazing.
kids. So many people are excited about
Oh
that. They
yeah,
remember the
adults
first time
too.
around. Yeah, no doubt.
Definitely. So will you be going? You'll be taking the kids?
Of course.
Okay.
Absolutely.
good.
Have to go. I mean, no doubt about it. I spent this weekend, again, parked in front of Netflix. God, it's an addiction.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
What happened?
I
You
never
used to do a
be-
lot of reading, a lot of intellectual stuff. What's going on now?
Nope.
Midlife crisis?
Yeah, I think so. I think when my brain wants to take a break, it's like TV.
Netflix.
Absolutely,
Okay.
Netflix it is. Yeah, but
Whatever works.
whatever works. Yeah. But here we are again. Once again, thank you so much for joining us here on Bahamas at Sunrise. Another great show. We've got all the students on the show this morning. We've got some of the scholars.
Yes.
In other words, some really, really smart students are going to be on the show. We also have a student-led group called Uniforms for All. Yeah, it's such a wonderful charity that they're doing, seeking to help those in need for when the school year comes back. And of course, we did it on Friday, but it's such an important thing. Central Bank is celebrating their 45th anniversary.
Yes.
We're going to be re-airing that segment with the governors in particular who want it.
Oh, wonderful. So we will also be talking to Dr. Pinto of the Urology Care, as well as Stephen Moss. He's going to talk to us about the Saltwater Underground Railroad.
Yes.
So that should be very interesting.
Yes, definitely.
Interesting segment.
The president of the Bahamas Historical Society was here on Friday past and told us about it. I was really intrigued, and as promised, she's got the man himself and the lectures tonight,
Exactly.
but he's going to be telling us just a little bit about it before we get there tonight.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But now we are going to take a check on the weather with Godfrey.
Weather at sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Zayan. Good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather, sunrise, have old upper level trough, along with a series of little troughing across the islands. High pressure, though, is still the dominant of the feature, but that'll trigger off a couple of showers and thunderstorms during the daytime. Today, though, we're looking at partly sunny, hot and humid, and there'll be some periods of showers and possible thunderstorms. High temperature 90 degrees Fahrenheit. It'll feel like about 105. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, yet a couple of showers or a possible thunderstorm. The low temperature going down to 79 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean. Barbados 82 and 78. In Jamaica 86 and 73. In Trinidad 80 and 75. And the Turks and Caicos Islands 91 and 79. Across North America, Atlanta 85 and 73. In Raleigh, 92 and 75. In Miami, 88 and 80. Dallas, Texas, 92 and 6. And Toronto, Canada, 77 and 60. As we go through the week, partly sunny skies, still hot, still humid, and there's a chance of those showers and thunderstorms by afternoon. Temperature daytime will continue to be in the lower 90s daytime, around the 80-degree mark at nighttime. That's what you're up on your first look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Zion.
Welcome back. Some 150 students, school graduates, received scholarships through the Public School Scholars Program last month. And joining us today to speak with us about this, we have Kamleta Barry, who's a graduate of this program, as well as Alonso Lama, who's going to be here speaking with us. So tell us about the road to graduation. What has it been like for you being a part of this program?
Well, I'd say that the process of the program is a very rigorous one. First, you have to fill out an online application, and then after the online application, you go through an interview process, and then after you are selected, we have a whole week of festivities in which we prepare for our college journey. So it was a fairly long, but not too difficult one. As long as you have the requirements and you met all of those, you would be fine.
Okay, and could you tell us about your journey to being able to be a scholar as well?
I agree that the process was a bit difficult, trying to balance your schoolwork and completing the long application in the time given. But it wasn't much work once you had all your documents and all the needed requirements. It was good.
And can you tell us what did it feel like to actually receive the scholarship?
I was thoroughly excited and thoroughly pleased. At first, I wasn't sure I would be capable of getting the scholarship because the competition was super stiff this year. We have a lot of academically advanced students in the public school sector. So I was kind of, not sure of myself, but I was super pleased and super happy to find out that I did. Hard work paid off and I did get the scholarship.
So can you tell me, what are some of your goals and your aspirations now that you have this scholarship?
Well, as for now, I aspire to become a marine biologist. I want to achieve a 4.0 during my first semester in college, which is kind of tough, but I think I can do it with all of the hard work and studying that I do put in. I think I can achieve it.
Okay, and what about you? What are some of your goals?
I aspire to become an entrepreneur, owning my own restaurant. I plan to help reduce the number of people that become sick because of the food they eat in the Bahamas. I plan on getting my master's degree after obtaining my bachelor's in hospitality management.
Excellent. So tell us, what university do you plan
I
on
plan on attending Spring Hill in Mobile, Alabama. It's a very small school. I think it's a private school, so it should be a great experience.
Good. Was this a school that you wanted to go to?
Yes,
And you can tell
ma'am.
us why you
I
wanted.
chose the school because they have a great marine biology and engineering program. The school is also in Alabama, and I really want to visit Alabama. And the school facilities are great, and it has a very beautiful aesthetic in terms of the building and the trees, and I really love to be immersed in a beautiful environment, like in my home.
Good. And what university will you be attending?
I'm attending Monroe College, located in New Rochelle, New York.
And what was your reason for wanting to choose?
I chose Monroe because out of the selected colleges that has partnership with the PSSP, that was one of the best schools to deal with hospitality management and culinary arts. And also it has a great student to professor ratio, and it is very known for the diversification that it has.
Okay. And what has been some of the feedback that you've gotten from your colleagues who are also scholars, a part of this program?
Well, in terms of feedback from other scholars, they are super excited. Some of them feel afraid for me because I'll be the only one from this program attending my specific college. So they're afraid for me, but at the same time, they're excited. They're also excited because most of them are going off in groups, so they have each other to lean on, and we're just super excited for this opportunity and to venture out and be amazing.
That's wonderful. And can you tell me how does it feel to be going to this school? And
It's like a bittersweet moment. I'm very excited that I have the opportunity to further my education, but thinking about my family and friends, leaving them, and thinking about how I would manage on my own, I don't know how I would do with adjusting to that new lifestyle and keeping myself in order and staying on track, but with God, anything is possible.
Definitely. And so can you, in wrapping up, can you talk about, give students encouragement? There's students right now who probably want scholarships. What kind of encouragement would you give those students who are going back to school in September?
I would basically say that the road is definitely not easy. You will have things going on at home, financial issues, you will have spiritual issues, you will have times that you doubt yourself, and there will be no one that can help you or no one that you can talk to, because honestly life is really unfair. But I would advise you to keep pushing and stay strong, because at the end of the day you have to do it for you, and you have to do it to help your family and help others and help the Bahamas as a whole. So keep on going, keep persevering, keep on studying, keep moving. BGCSEs are hard, SATs are hard, APs are hard, but you have to, and you have to continue to make a better life for yourself and the rest of the world.
And you, what encouragement would you give other students?
I would say never let your current situation determine your future outcome, because while completing the PSSP application, I had no Wi-Fi at home, so I had to go to my neighbors to complete the application, and I did it. So don't let your circumstances deter you from accomplishing your goal, and keep pushing and believe in God, because He said that whatever you shall ask for, He shall give you. So just keep the faith and believe.
Well, I'd like to thank you both for being here, and also congratulations. Have a good time, study hard, and do well. Make us proud. Well, thank you for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be back right after this break.
Good afternoon. First response. How can I help you?
I've been in an accident on West Bay Street. Can you send someone to help?
Yes, ma'am. A first response team will be there in 15 minutes. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine, but a bit upset.
We're glad you're not hurt. Please, try to relax. Our team will take care of everything as soon as they arrive.
First Response provides immediate on-site service and support from the scene of an accident through the claims and repair process. And it's free to all Bahamas First insured drivers in New Providence, every day for any type of accident. If you drive and want first response on your side, call 32-FIRST or visit bahamasfirst.com for the name of an authorized Bahamas First agent. First response can't prevent an accident from happening,
But it can certainly ease your mind when it happens.
New Providence Life Insurance Company wants to be your lifetime insurance partner. Through good times and bad, we are here to light the way. We offer educational savings plans, family plans for medical, dental, and vision, income protection to pay bills if you can't work, and a full set of plans designed for senior adults. New Providence Life, your beacon of security through every season.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Friday past, we were talking with the president of the Bahamas Historical Society, and she announced that today, Monday night, they will be hosting a lecture series, and the topic is entitled The Saltwater Underground Railroad. So very pleased to be joined on Bahamas at Sunrise by my cousin. I just found that out. Family, right? Moss from the Crooked Island, Acklands area. All right. He is Professor Stefan Moss, Georgia State University. Welcome back. Welcome home.
Good to be
Welcome
home,
home.
man. Always.
A good old, was it NCA, SAC?
Yeah, COB, welcome.
COB. We got all of that in common.
Right.
But we were so fascinated on Friday when Andrew was talking about this lecture series and this particular topic for July. Another one is in August. But the saltwater Underground Railroad. We're familiar with the Underground Railroad.
Right.
But you've taken it to another level. I mean, in a nutshell, what exactly is it?
The Saltwater Underground Railroad is is kind of that movement south into Spanish Florida in the early beginnings, and then eventually to the Bahamas, where runaway enslaved Africans from plantations in Georgia and South Carolina were looking for freedom. And so there's lots of work that's already been done by recognized Bahamian scholars like Dr. Tinker. There's also a lady in Florida, Dr. Rosalind Howard, also Dr. Rita Pratt. She runs a museum here. And so basically standing on the shoulders of those giants, I decided to put together a virtual tour. And so the virtual tour documents many of the most important sites along the Saltwater Underground Railroad where those enslaved Africans were migrating south into Spanish Florida, which at the time was kind of a sanctuary. And then eventually also many of them traveled to the Bahamas, settling in Andros and in New Providence.
I mean, that's an interesting story. I mean, when you say many of them, you're talking about thousands,
thousands, yeah, thousands.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe the Bahamas wasn't the last stop, I'd imagine, throughout the Caribbean as well.
There were other places where enslaved Africans ended up. Trinidad, for example, the Americans, if you look at that community there, you can trace them back to kind of that migration as well. So there's lots of really cool, heroic stories. Mexico, you know, blacks free, looking for opportunities for freedom. Many of them also escaped into Mexico. So.
But in the islands of the Bahamas in particular, which ones were probably the most prominent ones that they settled in?
Well, you have the Red Base community, which is,
sure.
you know, most people know about the Black Seminole history there and how they traveled in those dugout canoes. That's a very, very powerful story. And those communities, you know, that community is still there today. So it's kind of a testimony to resilience and the strength of that movement. But also here in New Providence, right? There were lots of vessels that were, at the time, you know, loaded with enslaved Africans. And when the British abolished the slave trade, they were basically taking those ships, and many of them ended up here in Nassau. So you have the communities of, you know, Gambia and Adelaide and some other communities, and it's a rich and fascinating story.
Well, I mean, take us a little bit through it's a digital tour, of course.
It's a digital tour. It is.
Just describe what we'll.
Sure.
Don't give all of it out because we definitely want him to come out tonight.
Sure,
but
absolutely.
in a nutshell, I mean, just some actual tour itself.
Well, the tour starts in Georgia. I'm currently living there, and so I wanted to kind of give people a taste of what a traditional plantation would look like. So there are plantations in the Georgia area that are, you know, very much look like what they would have looked like back in the 1800s. Through South Carolina, into sites in Savannah, parts of Florida. And really, man, trying to retrace, you know, those steps using Google Earth, which is a powerful tool. So it's more of a kind of a technology, kind of a STEM / history mashup, where you get to use a tech tool to learn about Black history, which is really cool.
I mean, you say it's really cool, but it's also very important, really critical. I mean, especially in today's environment. I mean, the conversation, I think, is as important today as it was even 60 years ago.
Absolutely, man.
You know,
Absolutely.
So what drew you to this aspect of history?
Thanks for asking, man. When I moved to the United States, I didn't know a whole lot about, you know, our connection as Bahamians to this larger story. And I got involved in a group called Outdoor Afro, and I was a part of a movement that was taking, you know, people outside and learning about the outdoors and reconnecting people to the outdoors. And I started visiting these national park sites. And through those national park sites, I started realizing that there was so much history there, Black history in U.S. national parks that related to where I'm from. So it just sparked my interest. I just kept reading, kept learning, kept studying. And I came upon, obviously, you know, the tremendous work of some of the Bahamian scholars. I'm a scientist by training, but it was just so amazing to hear these stories that relate to the land and relate to our place in nature, and how, you know, people like Harriet Tubman and many other individuals were so, you know, powerful in the outdoors, helping to free people. So it's a very, you know, very interesting thing.
I mean, that is fascinating. I mean, we talk a lot about the identity of people. I mean, obviously, I mean, if you're of this hue, you would have been brought here.
Sure, absolutely.
And so we're all kind of related in some regard or another. What would you like for young Bahamians in particular most to get out of this particular
experience?
Yeah.
Well, with the virtual tour, man, I just want them to hear these stories, man. The stories are so powerful, so empowering. And, you know, as a young Bahamian growing up, I didn't have access to these stories. So I definitely want to kind of introduce or reintroduce these stories. I'm not sure, how much of these stories are being taught in gaming classrooms or how much exposure students have. So in my mind, I just say, hey, look, here's an online platform, a virtual tour. You don't have to physically hop on a plane and go.
Right.
The power of Google Earth is that you can essentially be there without being there. And so it was just a way, I think, for young Bahamians and anybody really to be able to connect to these stories and feel empowered, knowing that as a Bahamian, you are also a part of this larger story of freedom. Which what everyone's searching for.
Is this your first real work like this, or do you have other tours that you developed?
No, this is my first one, man. Okay. There was a time about 1.5 years ago, man, where this is all I did. I ate, slept, and drank this, and I wasn't sure exactly what the outcome would be. I just knew that here's this powerful tool I can use to tell a story, and I just felt like everyone should know about these individuals, these people who created such an amazing storyline that I want people to follow.
Well, I tell you what, continue to write, continue to tell those stories. I think they're very important, actually. So tonight it's at the Bahamas Historical Society. I think she said it begins at 6 p.m.
6:15, yeah.
6:15, okay.
We'll be there, man.
Right there on Shirley Street.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, Stefan Moss.
Thank you,
didn't
man.
want me to call him doctor, so professor. Georgia State University. Welcome home, man.
Thank you,
you
man.
so much.
Good to be here.
All right, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Wait, that's Omar Little from The Wire.
You think everyone is Omar from The Wire?
Wow, it's really nice to meet a fan.
It's like he's right here.
I tell you, he was being all type shows and stuff.
And Rev Go Play plays a lot of good movies and TV shows.
Excuse me, can't you see we're watching something else?
Rude.
Settle all your pop culture disputes with Rev Go Play. Watch, record, and stream all your favorite shows wherever you are. Free for all Rev TV subscribers. Rev, you and us together.
Wow, where'd you get that necklace from?
It's Fashion Hall.
Cute dress, lady.
Thank you. It's Fashion Hall.
Career, church, or casual, visit Fashion Hall. Top of the Hill Mackey Street, Mall at Marathon, and Southwest Plaza. Enjoy Sunday shopping at our Southwest Plaza location from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
I always wanted to come back to the College of Bahamas. I wanted to be a faculty. When the opportunity came for me to be Vice President of Operations, I said, well, let me try that first. It makes me proud because I was here before. I feel as if now I'm sort of like a beacon for those students who are here to say, hey, listen, I can actually be a vice president. I can actually be one of the big leaders at the university. I'm Ronnie Stevenson, and this is my UB.
Apply today at www.ub.edu.bs.
Welcome back. Uniforms for All is a uniform recycling project which is organized by students, and it is to provide uniforms for students who are in need. And today we're speaking with President of Uniforms for All, Malia Neely, who's here with us, as well as Treasurer Eden Ellis. Thank you so much for being on Bahamas at Sunrise this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Can you tell me who came up with the idea for providing these uniforms for students who are in need?
Well, it was my idea because I sensed a need that the back to school season is very expensive, from textbooks to backpacks to tuition itself. So I wanted to at least relieve parents of one burden throughout the back to school season.
That's excellent. And who are the students that would make up your group for this organization?
Well, Uniforms for All is student-based, like you said. It has students from all schools of New Providence, public and private, from all ages. Last year it was strictly senior students, but this year we've engaged students from primary school, junior school, and high school.
That's wonderful. And can you tell me what schools are you collecting for exactly?
All schools.
All schools?
Every public and private.
And can you tell me when you collect them, what is the actual process that you go through once you have these uniforms to give out?
Well, we have 3 bins at Solomon's Yamacraw, Solomon's Supercenter, and Cartwright, where the public can donate their uniforms for the whole month of July. After that period ends, we collect them, we sort them, mend them, wash them, and post them on our inventory, which can be found at ufa-bahamas.com. And then we set up a pop-up location and distribute them to those in need.
Okay. And can you tell me how can people donate? What are some of the ways they can donate to your organization?
So this is my job. When you go into Solomon's Cartwright, Solomon's Yamacraw Cartwright, or Solomon Supercenter, you'll see our bins, and on the bins there are the instructions along with the plastic bags. When you place uniforms in these plastic bags, you write your name and your email. The reason you write your email is because of our sponsor, John Bull Business Center. They gave us a $250 gift certificate to give to the person who donates the most uniforms. So once you place the uniforms in the bin, you leave them there, and Acting Director of Operations, which is me, while Director of Operations is on vacation right now, we pick them up and we take them back to our location and we take care of them for you.
What is some of the feedback that you've been getting since you started this project, and tell us how long has it been going on for?
This is our 2nd year in running. Last year we successfully donated over 650 pieces of uniforms from over 25 schools in New Providence. So I think it was a huge success. Those who received were very grateful. They told us, God bless you, you helped me out this season, you're doing a great thing. So it was a great feeling to know that we really helped people in our nation, and we want to double the number this year.
Okay, great. And have you been able to do it in the family islands, or have people donate uniforms from the family islands? How has that worked?
We haven't as yet.
Okay.
Right now we're only a New Providence organization, but we definitely plan to expand, starting with Grand Bahama, hopefully by next year.
Okay, good. And what are some of the things that you're looking forward to doing in the future with this actual project? Because it sounds like a wonderful project to be able to assist students who actually need uniforms for the new school year.
Well, like I said, we plan to expand to other family islands, and also we want to include other school-related items such as textbooks and anything else that can be recycled and reused and passed on once it's in good condition.
Wonderful. And how can students who are in need, who are going back to school, how can they be able to get uniforms from you?
Well, after the collection period, which ends on the 31st of this month, we have about a 2-week period where we mend and sort and launder them. And then, like Malia said, we have a pop-up location. Last year, it was at our sponsor, the AML Food Companies, at Solomon's Yamacraw and Solomon's Supercenter at their back-to-school extravaganza. So once we do launder and mend them, we do have a pop-up location and somewhere in New Providence, somewhere easily accessible where locals can just come and pick them up once they tell us what they need.
Okay. Have you been getting people who would call in or write you in terms of what demands are for certain schools? How has that been in terms of the balance of the amount of schools that you would have uniforms for?
Well, it all depends on what's donated to us. So we only have what is given to us to give out to others.
Of course.
But also Carrie's department store is also a sponsor, and they've donated new uniforms to our organization. So you have those to give out as well.
Okay, wonderful. And can you just tell us how has it been being a part of such an amazing organization? 2 years. What has it been like for you?
It's been an awesome experience. Bonding with Malia and other students, with our advisors, with the parents who come out, and even the locals who support us. It's been very humbling. We're under the stigma that because we come from a private school that we don't understand what other people go through, but I think we've debunked those rumors. And as a senior going off to college this year, I am definitely going to miss being a part of the organization, but I'm always going to be a UFA member at heart.
Good. Well, I just want to wish you all the best and a good season. I hope you get a lot of uniforms that you can give out to students who are in need.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us at Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back after this break.
So who really own the Nassau Container Port?
Boss, that's easy. The government.
I do.
I do.
Thank you.
I do.
I do. And one day, he will too.
I do. Knock knock.
Here at the Nassau Container Port, we've diversified our ownership to give hardworking Bahamians a piece of the economic pie. And we'll continue to grow so that we can give you a consistent return on your investment. That's our promise.
Shell Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Hi, I'm Davriel and welcome to Rev Tips, where we answer your most important Rev service questions. Today's question is, how do I set up a Rev My Account? It's super easy. To create a Rev My Account, simply visit www.cablebahamas.com and click the My Account icon. Next, select the Create Account option. Please have a copy of your latest statement on hand. Enter the information as it appears on the statement to the respective areas on the form. When you've finished, click Create Account to continue with the process. Once you've registered your account, you can use your username and password to check your account balance, view past statements, and pay your bill online. And that's your Rev Tip for this week. Thanks for watching, and be sure to join us next time.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise, midpoint, mid-show.
Yes.
Cyan, how's it going? How's it going?
It's going good.
Yeah.
I just spoke to some students, Uniforms for All. That is, they're collecting uniforms to launder, mend, make sure I get them in shape, and then to donate them to students who are in need. And this is from all schools, public schools, private schools, and I think that's absolutely amazing.
Amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely amazing.
I think these are the stories that we love to bring here on Bahamas at Sunrise, especially when it's youth-centric, it's charity-focused. Just a wonderful thing that they're doing. Another wonderful thing, I don't know if you got to hear a little bit about my conversation with Stefan Moss up there at Georgia State University, Saltwater Underground Railroad. It's interesting, you know, you go over to the U.S. and you learn, you know, a little bit of their history, but it's all interconnected. It's all interconnected, and we all related, cuz.
I know. Yeah. Everybody. It's true. The Bahamas is so small. Like you have a cousin, third cousin, fourth cousin.
Absolutely. It's
everywhere.
2 degrees of separation at the most. But we've got more to come, eh?
Yes, definitely. We have Dr. Pinto, who's coming up.
The good doc is back.
Who's going to be talking
the good doc is
about
back.
serious issues as it relates to men's health. So he'll be back on. Yes.
Yeah,
he'll
definitely.
be talking about male issues. So that'll be. So I'll be interviewing him. So in case it's uncomfortable for you.
I thought, no, man. Listen, that's my
just to let
doctor.
you know.
Listen, I'm good. We'll also be seeing once again the recognition of the 45th anniversary and the ceremony they had for the Central Bank of the Bahamas. And that should be a good one. We've had some really outstanding governors. I mean, just really outstanding Bahamians.
Wendy Craig was one of them. Yeah.
Absolutely. There you go. Yeah. There you go, man. And another outstanding Bahamian, of course, is Godfrey Burnside, and he's going to give us a second look with Weather at Sunrise.
Yes.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. First in insurance, today, tomorrow.
Thank you, Phil, and good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather, sunrise, the tropics. Once Hurricane Barry is now downgraded to a tropical depression over the mid-United States. There's a big rain event at this time. And elsewhere, tropical storm formation expected during the next 5 days. On the local scene, seas of troughing across the islands, and we have an upper level one over northwest Bahamas. Will trigger occasional cloudy periods with some showers and possible thunderstorms. In your marine forecast today, Monday through Wednesday, those winds will be east to southeast of 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet on northwest and central Bahamas, a little stronger than the southeastern islands, easterly at 15 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. Yeah, tides. Currently you have a high tide that happened at 6:27 this morning. Next low tide will be at 31 minutes past midday. High again this evening at 6:56. Sunset will be 8 p.m. this evening, rises now at 6:30. UV index 9, your water temperature 82 degrees Fahrenheit, and your moon phase now moving towards the full moon. Next 5 days, partly sunny skies, hot and humid conditions with a few showers, isolated thunderstorms. The temperature daytime will be in the low 90s, at nighttime around 80-degree mark. That puts you up in your final look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Erectile dysfunction, ED as it is known, will affect every man to some degree at some point in their life. I'm very pleased to be joined once again on Bahamas at Sunrise to our very own good doctor, Dr. Gregory Pinto, urologist, Urology Care Bahamas. Welcome back, Doc. How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me.
Feels
Good
like I
morning,
haven't
boss.
seen you in a minute, but I'm sure you were just here not too long ago, man.
Not too long ago. Good morning to my daughter, Gia.
Gia, yes, absolutely. Gia, you have become a part of this show. Good morning to you. You say, and this is the message that you take around, it's imperative that we get the right diagnosis first.
Yeah, so it's a complex issue. Trying to deal with it on your own because of embarrassment is going to lead to profound health problems, because erectile dysfunction in itself is usually an early sign of more grievous health concerns. That might be that your first sign that you're a diabetic and you're not aware, or that you have high blood pressure, or you have high cholesterol, or there's a very strong correlation with cardiovascular disease in erectile dysfunction. So you need a full workup to determine why you have erectile dysfunction and treat the cause. Don't just mask the symptom by getting the Rhino or the Chinese lozenge that are unregulated medications that can have profound effects on your heart, your kidney, your liver.
Yeah. So that self-diagnosis thing.
Yeah, even borrowing your colleague's Viagra, it may work for a certain period of time, but then it's going to stop working because whatever the main cause, whether it's impaired nerve supply or blood supply because of diabetes, hypertension, or both, that can become permanent. And even those drugs stop working. So let's get to the root of the matter. Let's treat the cause and get you back on your feet. So,
so what are some of the tips? I mean, and stress also plays a part.
So it's a complex issue. So you have to look at several integral things that have to be working all at once. That's nerve supply, blood supply. You never can underestimate the emotional and psychological component as well. And then we never even speak about low testosterone. So you need to have a normal testosterone. That's the male hormone that gives you that drive, that ability to keep a good erection, maintain a good erection. And studies have shown as many as 12% of middle-aged men have low testosterone. And that erectile dysfunction with low testosterone is just one symptom. You can feel 20 years older before your time. You can put on 30 pounds in a year, you not know why. And you can watch your diet, be religious in the gym, and you'll never lose that weight. You can feel fatigued, you can feel depressed. It's like the male version of menopause. So you can feel like a shell of your former self. You can live your life like there is a cloud over you. You can basically become a different person, and you might not be aware of it because it might be a gradual process, but it'll be your colleagues, your family, your wife who will tell you all of a sudden you just want to come home and sleep on the couch. You don't have any interest to do things you used to love to do. Your sexual libido is gone. Your ability to have an erection is gone. So don't...
so many things.
So many things. So erectile dysfunction might be just one early sign of many things. And we never speak of the female component. So as a woman gets older, particularly with menopause, they don't have the same estrogen level. They're not going to have the same lubrication. A female version, quote unquote, of Viagra came out within a month ago. It works completely different than Viagra, but it basically is used to treat low sexual libido for women. It's the second such drug approved by the FDA, and it has great results. So if it's an issue with not just the man, you have to look at the female as well. So That's what a urologist is for. We don't just see
and also the habits that we have. I mean, smoking, for example.
So obviously smoking affects
remains.
every organ of your body, even the most important organ.
Right.
So it can impair your nerve supply.
Right.
Nicotine in itself can impair your blood supply. It's a vasoconstrictor. So the blood supply is impaired. So even if you stop smoking for a couple of days, you find your erections were going to improve.
Okay. What about coffee? I mean,
coffee is also a stimulant. So that can
good.
also cause a dilation of the blood vessels.
Okay.
So everything in moderation. Alcohol, a lot of people call it the liquid courage, especially when they're going to have a sexual encounter.
Right.
But alcohol in itself is a depressant.
Yeah.
It can cause you to be fatigued. It's also a diuretic. So just in the heat of the moment, you want to run to urinate. So
it's interesting,
there
when
are
I was
many
growing
issues.
up, my grandmother always used to say, "Man, coffees make your head hot."
Yes.
She wasn't lying, I guess.
Yeah, so it's a very complex issue. Even as a urologist, the fact that you have urinary issues, male or female, that can profoundly inhibit your sexual libido.
Okay.
If you're leaking urine as a female every time you have any exertion of any effort, obviously you're going to stay away from sexual activity.
Brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
I mean,
so there's a very, you would never believe it, you never believe it, but there's a strong correlation between good dental health and erectile dysfunction.
Seriously?
Yes, because you can have chronic inflammation that can lead to damage to the actual endothelium of the blood vessels that can cause impaired blood supply.
It's the blood connection.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So it's the chronic inflammation from the dental disease. So you always want to make sure you have good dental health as well. So it's a complex.
It's all connected. It's
all
body.
connected.
Like,
so don't stop going and trying to.
And diet and exercise and I mean.
Obviously, as I mentioned, cardiovascular. So anything you're going to eat, any lifestyle activity that's going to reduce your prevalence of cardiovascular disease is going to improve your erection. So you want to be healthy. You want to have exercise at least 3 times a week and do something that you love. You don't wanna, you're not going to stick with it. If you don't like going to the gym, don't go to the gym. Play volleyball, go swimming. Any kind of exercise is going to work. Even in terms of exercise, in terms of maintaining an erection, getting a good erection, there are pelvic floor exercises that improve the musculature of the pelvis that allow you to maintain and sustain an erection for longer periods of time. Erectile dysfunction affects almost every man at some point. Diabetics, Bahamas has a very high prevalence of diabetics. 35 to 75, and some say 90% of diabetics are going to have some element of erectile dysfunction.
Wow.
Bahamian men are notorious. Also, hypertension is very prevalent here. They realize that once they take their high blood pressure medication, their erections fail them or they're inhibited. There are so many classes of high blood pressure medications. In fact, some of them can enhance your blood supply to your erections. So stop trying to be your own doctor. If you're, it's not the white coat syndrome if you think that every time you go to the doctor, that's the only time your high blood pressure is going to show up. You always have sustained high blood pressure. And you're not going to have symptoms from it. They call it the silent killer for a reason. So until it's too late, until you lose your eyesight, until it affects all your blood vessels, your heart, you're in kidney failure. And then your erections are also ruined because of all those reasons.
So you have to pay attention to even the smallest of changes, whether it's dimming of the eyes or
always get at least an annual physical, even twice a year. You want to pick up any chronic illness, particularly because it's so prevalent in this society. We don't have the best diet. We have a very sedentary lifestyle. You need to get active and stop trying to diagnose yourself.
Well, what about, I mean, in the Bahamas, we go to the bush. And we get the nice mix and we boil it all up together. I mean, is that something
Well, you got to be careful.
You got to be careful
Some
with that
of these
as well.
things have
other effects?
Risk because of the hazard effects, but there's always the placebo effect. So if you believe something's going to work, Bahamian men believe the Guinness is going to work. So it's a self-prophecy. So yes, you believe it's going to work, you take it, and you do have something. But also it's a vicious cycle. Once you have some erectile dysfunction, you have that pressure on yourself to not disappoint yourself, not disappoint your partner. And that pressure in itself
could be
cause you to replicate the erectile dysfunction again. So we need to determine why you have the erectile dysfunction. And as I said, many times I'll see couples because it might be something as simple as every time a female has sexual intercourse, they're going to get a urinary tract infection. Let's determine why that is and stop that from happening. So obviously, if you feel like every time as a female you urinate razor blades because
Right,
every sexual intercourse episode,
Mhm.
you're going to avoid it.
Right.
And that can have a profound effect on the marital life.
Wow.
So,
That's
yeah. So
relationship period, right? Exactly.
you all just see men and female in equal numbers.
Okay.
We
And that's
need
an
to
important
determine
point.
the cause.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, well, how can people reach you?
Well, I have a website, Urology Care Bahamas. I'm a consultant at Princess Margaret Hospital and Doctors Hospital.
Right.
But my main office is at the Centerville Medical Center, and that's at 68 Collins Avenue and
All
6th Terrace, and the number there is 326-1929.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, man.
All
Good
right.
seeing you once again. We've been with Dr. Gregory Pinto. You know the deal. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
This is Eddie, and Eddie's a change counter. This is Sean. Sean doesn't have to count change because when Sean purchases a plan with Alive, it's VAT inclusive. Keep things simple, just like Alive's all-new VAT-inclusive prepaid plans with more talk, more text, and even more data. So don't be an Eddie. Freedom simplified. Alive. Believe in best.
This summer, take off with Shell. Spend $20 or more in fuel and enter to win. You and a friend can experience Bruno Mars live in concert in Viva Las Vegas. Or relax in picturesque Harbor Island for the regatta. Or plan an exciting vacation for 4 to Orlando. Fuel up at your nearest Shell service station and you can also win thousands of dollars in free gas, Bahamas Air vouchers, Super Value gift certificates, or one of many new iPhones that will be given away this summer. So hurry into your favorite Shell location and enter to win. Like us on Facebook for more chances to take off with Shell and win today.
Welcome back. We brought you this story on Friday and we want to share it again. The Central Bank of the Bahamas is celebrating its 45th anniversary, and as a part of that celebration, they honored their former governors at a recent event. We have Suzette Parker with that story.
The Central Bank of the Bahamas is celebrating its 45th anniversary this year. And as a part of its anniversary celebrations, the bank held a recognition ceremony and bust unveiling at its art gallery last week. The theme for the evening was Past, Present, Future, and all former central bank governors were present, including the widow of the first governor, T.B. Donaldson, to view busts and portraits made in their honor, as well as view the design of the new central bank building. After presentations, toasts, and the cake cutting, the governors were given a tour of the exhibition.
We thought it was a good opportune time to bestow such an honor. Since we just 2 years ago recognized Governor Donaldson, we had the opportunity to continue to do the same thing for them using the same sculptors. So we seized upon the opportunity.
The governors were very appreciative and humbled by the honor.
When you do bronze statues, it has a feeling of being immortalized. And I don't think I've reached that pinnacle in my life, that bronze. But having said that and having seen it, I'm very pleased about it. And at least it's something that future generations will be able to say, oh, I know the ugly guy. He used to be at the bank.
Well, it's fantastic that the central bank has arranged this, and it's certainly good to see all of the governors here today, celebrating the 45th anniversary of the central bank. The central bank has always been a very special institution, and all of us have, collectively played a role in bringing the central bank to where it's at today, and I'm certain that with under Governor Roll's helmmanship, this institution will just grow even more.
It's a really special honor. It's a privilege. Look, I always felt that having the opportunity to perform the responsibilities which I did and which my fellow governors did was a special privilege which our country gave to us. And of course that imposes, I would say, on one the feeling that you really have to give it everything, and you have a special responsibility to the country and to our co-citizens to do them proud.
Well, it's humbling really, because it's, I had no idea back in 1984 that this could become this thing. It really is amazing, and it is. It's going to go a lot further, I think. So I'm honored to have been lucky enough to have begun it.
I am grateful to the governor for continuing to celebrate him and honor him, and it's a gift that I can carry on his name, and the bank has been able to just honor him and celebrate him.
They had high praise for the institution and their time there.
I really have to say it's been one of maybe the highest point in my life. I have wonderful memories of the central bank. I have to tell you, there were times it was challenging. It's not an easy job. But when you can look back and reflect on it and see more the positive things by far than the difficult things, it really is a very good feeling.
I think when you look back at my experience, I've been a career central banker. Unlike some of the others, this is the only job that I've had since coming out of school, so it's been very impactful for me. Yeah, and it was a wonderful experience, a wonderful growth experience for me.
I remember everything about this place when I was there, and that was 20-something years ago. Time flies, so it means we must make the best of every moment. So back then, when I was governor, and same thing with Tim Dawson, we were at the beginning of at the threshold. We knew it was. We didn't even know what the money supply of the Bahamas was back in the beginning. We had to develop that. We did the initial work to find out what the money supply of the Bahamas was. So it was then the creation, as Dean Acheson would say, we were present at the creation. And it was great to be there. Very challenging, but great to be there. To see where it is now, it's truly humbling to see what it has become.
When I came here, I came from the private banking sector. And I was amazed after maybe about 3 to 6 months at the attention to what I called then getting it right that you found here at the central bank. There was a kind of absolute, not fascination, and I'm trying to find the word, but a total commitment to getting things right. I'll never forget that. And in fact, after a short time, I even found myself, adjusting to that mentality, that philosophy of work, the philosophy of excellence. And I believe that bank still very much exemplifies that today.
Although the bank was reflecting on its past 45 years, it is also keenly focused on its future.
The way we work at the central bank is a lot of times we have to live in the moment and respond to whatever challenges we encounter in the moment. And so a part of the way we think about the future is always being prepared to react to whatever is thrown at the country, whether it happens inside or out. So if you look through the past, we've had at least 2 governors who've been at the central bank when the Bahamas has had to undergo sudden changes in the financial sector to respond to a lot of the international pressures that the Governor Francis lived through some of that. I'm addressing some of that now. Governor Allen didn't encounter it while he was in the bank, but he dealt with it as Minister of Finance, and so that relationship with the bank was there. So from that point of view, there's always been that element of the job of the central bankers and the Ministry of Finance experts where we're having to address challenges and find solutions on our feet. But the other side of it is that we want to always make sure that our institutions evolve to provide like proactively the guidance in terms of the kinds of reforms that are needed for the country. So exchange control is an example where at a minimum the way we administer exchange controls have to reflect the realities of operating in a modern economy where technology makes it possible to do things that were manual in the past, and also as people become more sophisticated, you have to appreciate that you have to find less direct and hands-on ways to try and manage our spending pattern and behavior. So some of the changes that we look forward to in the future are not to say that you're eliminating some of the controls on capital flows in your country, but you're focusing on more efficient, less intrusive means of addressing those issues. And so I would expect that when we see our system evolve, the central bank will appear less visibly to the average citizen, so in terms of how we manage the exchange control process. But you will know from the way we communicate that we are monitoring these and that we have the means to at least keep things within manageable limits.
45th, it's a milestone in the institutional growth, and I'm sure there's lots more to come in terms of the role that this institution will play in the Bahamian economy.
For Bahamas at Sunrise, this is Suzette Parker.
How are we making Rev work wonders for you? We are doing it together. You told us what you want, and we've heard you. Want faster broadband? How about speeds up to 1 gigabit per second? Want shorter house calls? 2 hours max. We promise. Want to take your entertainment anywhere? Well, your Rev Go Play app is here. Rev, we've heard you. You speak, we listen. Rev, you and us together.
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Since 1967, FOCAL has been a vital part of the Grand Bahama community, providing high-quality products and great customer service. Today, we continue to work hard and remain focused on fueling growth for people throughout the Bahamas.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Bahamas at Sunrise. So very glad you joined us this morning.
Yes, thank you for joining us. And before we leave, Uniforms for All, they are looking for volunteers.
Okay.
So if you're a seamstress, you're able to sew, they're trying to mend the uniforms. And so you can give them a call at 804-2466. So that's 804-2466. And Corporate Bahamas, if you can donate needles, hook and eyes, threads, things like that.
Okay.
They want to be able to mend those uniforms to be able to donate. So that's a wonderful thing.
All right, well,
Yeah.
good. Listen, if you don't recall that number, 804-2466, you can also call the counselors.
Of course,
Yeah,
definitely.
Listen, have a wonderful week. You're going to be here
Yes.
on Friday?
Yes, I will.
All right,
I'll be
good.
here on Friday.
All right, good. Enjoy.
See ya.
Bye. No, man, I can't see what